Ireland's leading dance music station. RTE Pulse.
Tune into Macken on RTE Pulse, Ireland's national dance music station. rte.ie/pulse, maxmacken.com.
Dance floor pleasures. RTE Pulse.
This week on the showcase/interview of the week, we have Brenmar, US-based producer and DJ. So yeah, here's the interview.
I'm actually living with, I got a spot, it's me and Sinden, and we both moved to LA for at least 3 months. And we're just going to be, we have a little spot in Hollywood, and we're going to be working out the house right now.
It's very good, because I've seen the video on the internet of you and Sinden working in the studio. How did that come about, that sort of collaboration between you two?
Well, we've been, I think I just kind of like randomly sent him some music a couple of years ago, and he was really into it. And so we just kind of struck up like an online back and forth, email friendship basically. And then he came to New York, and, I came out to the show, we met, we hung out, and just kind of kept in touch. And I sent him the music. I sent him the tunes right around the time he was starting his label, Grizzly, so the timing worked out really well. And, he's just been really nice and really supportive, super down to earth. It's just like he's really easy to get along with and work with, We haven't actually worked on that many things together, but we'll probably work on some more stuff within the next couple months, too.
And that's the thing between, both of your sounds are so similar, if you get me. You have a very definitive sound. It's sort of that hip hop sort of snare bass, and you know what I mean. It's very funky, but he's very, very similar. You both fit together very well.
Yeah, we have a lot of the same influences especially when it comes to hip hop and stuff. Like, we're both really big hip hop heads. Mm-hmm. He has a little bit more of a techno background than I've ever had. But I like that. I can fuck with techno. I like it. I just don't know. Haven't really never really dove into deep. But he's a little bit more of a four on the floor techno dude. But
yeah.
We share. There's enough of the influences there for it to make sense.
And that's good, bringing the techno to the hip hop to the house to the everything. The genre. As I was interviewing Scream a few days ago, and I was just talking to him about the genre is literally dead at the moment. The genre's gone out the window. It's just good music.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. There's there's still a place. There's still genres aren't disappearing. They're not going to go anywhere. I don't think they're as important as they once were.
No.
And people, and it's just the nature of listening to music nowadays. Everything, has blurred the lines between, everything's just getting thrown into a pot and mixed. The nature of the iPod changed the way we listen to albums and listen to music, really,
Definitely.
I think that is filtering down into the way people are making music now as well,
Mm-hmm. I thought it was brilliant when I seen you live in Dublin, especially with Melee and Dylan Francis, because I'd go home and listen to TLC, No Scrubs, and I'd go home and listen to TWR 72. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And hearing them, I never thought I would hear them in the club right after each other, but I did, and I was going crazy.
That's cool. Yeah, and you know what? But there's still that kind of a crowd, DJs that can do that, and I think a crowd that can appreciate that is still pretty small. It's still pretty small. Generally people will go to a techno club and they hear techno all night, or a hip hop club and they hear hip hop all the time. But I think it's changing a little bit. It's not going to end. There's always going to be hip hop nights and techno nights and blah blah blah. But I think you can appreciate. I think good music is good music.
Exactly.
I don't get hung up on fucking it's too commercial or it's too underground or this or that. I don't know. I don't really fuck with that shit. It just gets in the way of me making music. So.
A lot of people do, though. There is in dance music especially, it's a very fickle genre, and you do have a lot of snobbery is the word to use. Pretentiousness and snobbery. Yeah, that's not my vibe. That's why I get along with Sinden really well too, because that's not his vibe at all either. It's about just playing good music and doing it creatively. I think in your own way. I care about that, But a good tune to me is a good tune. I don't care if it's been heard by millions of people or just 12 people. That's why my mixtapes. You'll have but I try to put a little creative spin on it too. So I'm not just gonna put the original No Scrubs on the mix, but I'll give you some weird Jersey club remix or some completely reworked version of a song. I guess that's kind of where I kind of tote the line between going back and forth between more underground sounds and more commercial sounds. And I want to take it back. You grew up in Chicago, yeah?
Yeah, correct.
And then what age did you move to New York?
No, I didn't move to New York till I'm 26. I didn't move to New York till I was 22. So not, I've only been out in New York for the last like 4 years or so, 4.5 years. I was born and raised in Chicago. I mean, I'm a Chicago boy, like, for sure.
And how has growing up in Chicago influenced your style?
It's funny. Only now can I really feel like I can answer this question properly, because I've left Chicago. In Chicago, it's a different thing. You can't really like see as well, when you're so close to it. But just like growing up in Chicago, at least growing up in the neighborhood I did with the friends that I did. I grew up on the north side in Logan Square, predominantly Puerto Rican neighborhood. Pretty rough. But yeah, I mean, hip hop was basically like the music of choice. So I like, all the kids on the street, all the other older kids, everyone was just like, you'd sit outside, or you'd be riding your bike outside, and the cars driving by would just be playing hip hop.
So, looking back on 2011, was that a breakthrough year for you, would you say?
Yeah, it was a really good year for me. I'm always just kind of looking. I have to like stop and like think, because I'm always just thinking about like today or tomorrow. Just kind of always thinking about the next thing. But in hindsight, 2011 was a really good year. I could even just say, like, thinking about where I was this time last year in January. Yeah, it was a really good year. I did a lot of traveling, a lot of touring. Within the last year, I put out 3 EPs. I have no idea how many remixes or freebies. Maybe 15 or 20 at least. Yeah, I toured, Europe, Japan, America, Canada.
Very good.
First Mexico show tomorrow. Yeah.
I have to say, I really did like your EPs, because I'm the exact same as you. I really like my hip hop, but I really like my house. And
yeah,
coming down to see, like, it was just brilliant, because it was that exact style that I've been trying to do. I'll say it like that for a while now, and you just tore it apart. Like, it was brilliant.
Cool, man. Thank you. And it's like, it's about paying respect to each of the genres while still kind of like shaking things up a little bit, And it's like I'm not the first one to I'm not like the first one to mix hip hop with dance music by any means. It's, I guess, but I just do it my own way. I just try to respect each one, as much as I can. I'm not trying to throw just an acapella over like an electro beat or something like that. Like that's not really doing anything for me.
So looking into 2012, what are you working on at the moment?
My mixes are always kind of a big deal. Like I try to put a lot into my mixes. They're actually really stressful, but I like doing them. People seem to enjoy them, so as long as people want them, I'll keep on making them. But I got a mix for fact it's gonna be a little while, but it's coming. So I'm working on that, and then I have a new project called Chiefly. That's me and Daniel from Nguzu Nguzu. That's coming out on Grizzly probably closer to April or so.
Yeah.
2 songs, at least. Actually, well, definitely 2 songs. It actually might be 3 songs, and then 2 remixes. But that'll be a little bit. You'll hear more about that, like hopefully within next couple months or so. Still kind of finalizing everything, but yeah. So Chiefly, and then I'm working on a record for Mixpac out here in the States. They've done records like Double Dutch, Melee, Vibe Cartel, a lot of dancehall stuff. But that's gonna be like straight up hip hop and R&B, like proper,
Good stuff.
Like 150, 160, like 160 BPM, like halftime, 150, 160 halftime, like hip hop vibes. Like proper hip hop with vocalists. So we're trying to like get the vocalists in order right now. That's either going to be at least 2 or 3 songs. And then some touring in April and May. I'll say that much. I can't say with who, because it's still like being worked on. Like it's really close to being confirmed, but I don't, like, in case it doesn't happen, I don't want to talk the talk. But yeah, some touring I'll be back in Europe in April, I think, and after that, kind of sort of see where I'm at.
Any
5-6 months or so.
Are you going to be working with any MCs or rappers in the near future?
Yeah. That's what the Mixpac EP is going to be. That's going to be vocals. Like that's for my agenda for 2012 is to do a lot more original vocal stuff, like dance and hip hop and R&B.
Cool.
Like all of that stuff. It's like I'm just incredibly picky, so it's hard. With a sample, I find what I like and I work with it.
Exactly.
It's a little bit more difficult when you're working with like another ego and another personality, and you can't just easily. It's one thing if you're Timberland or the Neptunes, you could be like, do this, but I'm still coming up. I'm still
I see. Big up to Brenmar for coming on the show. Remember, you can check him out on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Brenmar.